Good afternoon. It is 5:15. I would like to call this meeting to order, if I may. We don't need to roll call vote, but Carolyn, Julie is not here and neither is Karen. Okay. Motion to approve the minutes of January 5th.
So moved.
Second? Discussion? Okay, I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everyone but me. Thank you so much. Parks usage request. Matt is here for pick and roll. You want to say anything different or
No,
updates?
same thing. I did notice, and it might have been an error on our side. It says November 30th, but it's actually October 30th. So
Okay.
We typically, every year, we end up in October. Vessel starts November 1st.
So your end date should be October 30th.
Our
Is that
end
right?
date will be October
Okay. I'm gonna make a note, but can I ask you, because of shifts in administrative support, to double check the Cozy Dome calendar once it gets posted, to make sure that it goes, the dates are all correct.
Because right now,
Last time I checked that calendar,
Not updated.
it was not updated.
Yep, that's why I'm asking. We're gonna take a multi-pronged approach to following up on that. So October 30th. Great. Motion to
May I
Bill,
take
did
a
you have a
motion?
question? Sorry.
Yeah, because I did look at the calendar and there's nothing on there except pickleball and extra specialties.
Yes.
Nothing in the afternoons.
Yet.
So what is happening in the afternoons at the Cozy Dome? Just is there stuff going on right now?
Right now, who's kind of basketball wasn't there from 5 to 8.
Every day?
The calendar is not updated.
That's if you need to find it. I never find it. When I do, it's.
Okay, so we'll motion to approve.
Motion to approve with the correction on the date.
Okay, and then second, and then I'd love to hear your questions. Yeah. Should I get second?
Matt, is there a fee to participate in this?
So we have 2 sessions, sort of. We have one that a team that travels around. So there's a fee for that team. So we make it as minimal as possible just to cover the tournaments. The other session is just workouts for the younger age group.
So what is the fee for the one you charge?
That's to be determined. We got to be determined.
Oh.
We figure out, once we get commitments from all our kids and figure out how many on the team, and then we figure out what tournaments we're going to, and we split it by the number of kids that are on the team. And so we just
Ballpark, what was it? What's it better than that?
I think last year was 300.
300 now.
Because it's nothing.
That covers probably 75% of the tournament fees, and then we fundraise for the rest.
And is this what? Where do the participants come from? Are they just Great Barrington?
I'd say 75–80% of them are Berkshire Hills. And
So
there's
you-
a couple of outside kids that come in.
You do have people outside.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Okay, the question what I'm going on leading to is, you say 12.
Mhm.
What happens if there were like 14 or 15 that want to participate? Do Great Barrington residents have preference?
I mean, we haven't really come across that before. For the workouts, it's kind of open to everybody. If 14 people show up, 14 people work out. For the team, it's kind of we kind of invite people to the team. It's not like a open tryout. So going into the season, we know exactly who's going to be on that team and where they're coming from. We don't host an open tryout.
Well, what I mean, is, since it's using Great Barrington facilities.
Yep.
Wouldn't Great Barrington residents have first crack if you have to make cuts?
If we were to have to make cuts, yeah, but we do not make cuts because we don't, again, we invite players to come play for us. We don't have an open tryout. So we don't have to make cuts.
Other questions, Bill?
Do you have a full-time job?
Yeah,
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I do.
And how many kids are involved with this?
With this, there's probably between both groups, 25 or 30.
Okay, you know, the last time we had a discussion, I think it was about the cheerleaders. It came up, are people making any money doing this? And I just want to say this to open up this conversation, that you do a great job. And you and I have talked in the athletic center, you know, and I personally appreciate the amount of time that you're putting in for the kids of this community. But I don't necessarily see why that has to be without some kind of payment, you know, some kind of remuneration that helps keep you motivated to go on. And I'm not saying that you should restructure. I just want to put it out there that I don't think it should be a prerequisite that if somebody does a program in this place in our town for kids, that they can't make any money on it. You know, within reason, you know, and we could talk about that, but I would like that to be a part of a conversation.
Yeah, as far as, I mean, what I'm hearing, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that that you want to make sure that we as a commission are not undervaluing the service that Matt and others are doing for the kids of our community, and that it should be acknowledged that it is an extremely important and valuable thing that you're doing. Thank you. I don't think at this moment that there is any there's no like prohibition to someone in this position taking some sort of form of remuneration for the work, but also I think it's up for a conversation if ever that should come
Sure.
up.
No, I just think that it is something that if we want people, especially young guys that are really excited to help the kids out, to make it worth their while to continue spending their time.
Yeah.
You know?
Great. Steve?
Don't disagree with anything you said. We have been lucky enough, and I've been involved in youth sports, but not anymore, for forever. And we have always been lucky enough as a town to have people like that.
Yeah.
That who put time into it and do a great job, love doing it and love the kids. The day may come, because a lot of changes have happened in the world, that's not gonna be the case, but we've been very fortunate.
Sure.
Ask Terry how much time he still puts in.
Yeah.
And he may be retired, but that doesn't mean his time isn't valuable.
That's you're working more probably now than
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
No, and I totally appreciate that. Things are changing.
Yeah.
And if we want to have people that are going to be leaders in this community, young people who are going to be leaders, we might have to make it worth their while so that they're going to continue to do that.
I will say this from when I did sports. If you're talking about the town paying someone,
Oh no.
but I'd rather do it for free and not have to worry about someone over seeing what I'm doing, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I don't need a boss. And it's when the town gets involved, if you're talking about that, because the town should have someone who runs youth sports programs, helps with it. But sometimes we can mess things up too.
Town?
It's a shock, I know.
Paul, did you have, yeah, and then Paul and then Joe, is that cool? Go for it.
So, Bill, are you suggesting or leading up to the town funding, paying people to run programs?
No,
Or
I'm
are
not.
you talking about part of the fee that they charge would go to them? Or, I mean, where do you stand? I mean, not that should be a big discussion right now, but I'm just wondering where what you're leading up to?
I think that we as a board, could look at each situation and, I don't think, well, last time with when the cheerleaders came for work to do programs in the Whoosy Dome, it was said, you know, are you guys making any money on this? And I walked away feeling like, well, why shouldn't they make a little bit of money on it? You know, from fees or, you know, could the town help pay for that? I don't know, Paul, but I just feel like if we're gonna have young folks, sub 35, working as leaders in our town with our kids, there's a lot of pressures now financially on a lot of people, that would preclude doing that kind of extra work, you know, and that maybe we should just be open to the possibility that a little extra money, maybe from fees. I don't think the town has got the ability to do anything like that right now. I think Steve could talk to that, but you know, with a added fee, something to make it worth their while.
So I do think that I think that this is a great conversation for us to have, and maybe at some point it needs to be a part of that fee conversation and a part of, in general, but the town does pay for lifeguards. And
Sure.
this could be, at some point, I don't think that this is what we're talking about right here, but at some point there could be a conversation about other scenarios, like we've done at Housatonic in years past, although not recently, to actually fund programming. But I think that what I'm hearing differently tonight from you is also programs that are coming in and offering their service in the form of a program shouldn't be precluded from earning some money in the process. Steve?
This was discussed a number of years ago, as I remember. Just the first thing that the town said, and how far do you travel with teams? You travel fairly far.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of liability. So if the town was involved, those travels may or may not happen, or they may be overly expensive because of insurance. So there's a lot to do, and it'd be interesting to talk about.
That's right, and I only wanted to just open
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Joe, did you want to add anything to this piece?
Well, yeah, maybe just a different way to think about it. You know, it seems like people like Matt and stuff, they seem to enjoy volunteering their time. But maybe there's a way the town can help support them, because the one he's here for tonight is only 25 or 30 people. The one he does, the Whoosy basketball league, what's that, 125?
Closer to 200.
175 with 4,000 youth hours. Last time we asked them to tally it up, and 1,000 hours of free parental assistance on teams and stuff like that. So years ago, when they were kind of the only thing in the community center, they kind of paid for a little bit because they kind of wore out, but now everyone's using it, so the town's paying for it. But maybe what you can do is based on the contribution, like the basketball or the cheerleading or the baseball leagues, it's like, give them $500 to buy basketballs and baseballs and bats or something like that out of the parks budget. Then you're not tying to the liability concern.
Exactly. We did that with Babe Ruth.
I
Years
remember
ago, we used to buy baseballs. for
years
Babe
and
Ruth.
years ago, when I was with the softball league, which I was there for 30-something years. When I first started, we used to get a couple of cases of softballs at the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden that depleted.
So I'm wondering if we could just return to the parks fee conversation next meeting and maybe talk a little bit about why that would be useful to have, like to be able to offer something like basketballs or some other.
So just so you know, it's like, we help the buildings and grounds group of the DPW does help these groups as much as possible.
Yeah.
We kind of try to keep it under the radar so it doesn't draw attention, but I think we help recently move some mats around and things like that to provide a good service. So we're doing some like in-kind services to help too.
Great.
And maybe that's how we do it too. But just so y'all know, we try to thank them and for you guys.
Yeah, I stop in once in a while when I see the truck there, and I thank them for what they do.
Yeah.
They appreciate it.
There was the email about the floor being dirty. Well, I forget where it came from, but it was like, it was taken care of, and we talked to everybody. it's not season right now, it's unfortunately, it's not.
Tough season right now.
Thanks, Joe.
So I think first of all, Matt, thank you. And second, can we take a vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody object? Okay, all good. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, thanks very much. Southern Berkshire Youth Football and Olympian Meadows.
See ya.
August 1st to November 7th.
We're both here tonight
Thank
to
you.
speak on behalf, but yes, we're looking to do our annual renew to use the fields during the fall season.
Great.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I want to ask the same question that I just asked Matt. Is there a fee to
There is.
participate?
There
And
is.
how much is it, and what does it cover?
Last year, the football was 185, cheerleading was 150. We haven't discussed what this year is, but it'll be equivalent or maybe slightly more, just depending on insurance. We also have our travel fees, our field fees, our monument and our away games, equipment use. Referees, big piece. But we do a lot of fundraising as well. We do the concessions at the home games. We do other yearbook ads, sponsors, a whole bunch of different things to be able to do uniforms and keep the costs low. We had about 60 kids last year, 50-50 football and cheer. We don't turn any kids away regardless of if they can pay a fee or not. Coaches are volunteering. We're low on coaches currently, so we have internally discussed if we're gonna have to try to figure out a way to provide some kind of small stipend to them. But our goal is to keep that registration or that fee low, or to figure out a grant or something of the sort.
My assumption is that a family that could not pay
They're not turned away.
would not turn them away.
No, they're not.
You have a scholarship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have,
scholarship. That's the same thing we have with the basketball program,
Yes.
so.
yeah, we have over 10 kids every season who
What does it cost to outfit one athlete
Cheer is
with
about,
it, in football for,
good question. Yeah, cheer is about 300 from uniform, shoes, pom-poms, bow, that kind of fee. And football would be more with the pads and the helmet.
yeah, that's why I was just curious what that was up to now.
The helmet
And-
and pads and stuff are issued like by the league.
Right, cause they gotta be certified and all
All
that
the
stuff,
family goes
so.
time, we bought snout guard, shoes, it was about 150, 200, depending on like what your kid wants, but you can get shoes not that expensive, so if they get the scholarship and.
Yeah, so it's about $400 or $500 to outfit a kid and you charge $185, so that's,
Correct. Yeah.
But that might be a good way where you come up with how you contribute to their activities and support them, and say $185 or something like that. And it's 5 kids a year that can't pay, maybe that's the contribution the town makes.
I mean, just along with the water that we use and Gatorade, and we always have protein and first aid equipment, I mean, that's hundreds alone.
More questions for these guys?
I was just gonna say that USA Today does a lot of investigative stuff on what they call and what's normally called elite teams, which are travel teams mostly. And the last article they did happened to be on a hockey organization in Texas, where it was thousands of dollars. So if we're gonna even get into this type of thing, aware of some of the ramifications of this, and I think that maybe on a future agenda, we should have a discussion about, I'm gonna go back to the one word, which I think has been lost, and Steve mentioned it, it's, the word begins with a V. It's called volunteerism, period.
Yes, I agree. I think volunteerism is a very important element of being a citizen within a town. But it's, the realities are that we can't expect that always from people. We have to provide opportunities for volunteerism, but if you're having trouble getting coaches, and I understand that, because you're talking about an hour or two in the afternoon, you know, to come to 3 times a week.
All the same faces in a room, like everybody who's volunteering is already volunteering, so like I'm an assistant coach for Matt's house league team, not because I know anything about basketball, but
Yeah, you
because,
do.
I mean, I do, but I don't, right?
Yeah.
So like, there was nobody else available, it was like, we can't do this if we don't have volunteers, so raise my hand, but she knows the group. We're always the same people in the rooms. It is time consuming, I hear your point, and it's more like kick that, right? So if you have a scholarship for someone, and with that takes a lot more pressure off us to decide how we're gonna fundraise. So it doesn't have to be that we make money on it, which I think is your point, it's like, but you should know, the same people are volunteering for everything at this point, because some people are just not able to do that.
And it's also a bunch of the demographics.
Some of us haven't been
Our population
smart enough at 71 years old to say no.
Shrinking, so there's less people available, and on the other side of that, there's less kids available.
That too.
Another option I would like maybe to consider, is there a way that maybe you guys can help us get the word of mouth out? Is there a place on the town website or a list or somewhere that you can assist us with being able to reach out to the community? Because I've heard again and again, oh, I got lucky, I saw that one yard sign somewhere when I was driving, or
Yeah, so I just made a note, and I'd like to put it on a future agenda, which is just some creative ways of networking, because like you're saying, it's the same people in the room, and at the same time, we have extensive networks that are not inside the room, and so the town website, Facebook page, but I have some other ideas that might be more effective. So thank you for that, and if we can just be in touch about that, I think it would be a great plan to share the information share, so that people who maybe do have the bandwidth to volunteer have that opportunity, but maybe they don't, but know someone who could, connect to other places. So that sound good? I'm gonna put that on March agenda. Should we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you guys both
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, new business. Kitty Silverman, I think, is on Zoom. Sorry, guys, we don't have an overhead visual, but we should have Bob.
Summer worth of cameras.
Hi, Kitty, welcome. Julie Andijar reached out to us about a memorial tree request.
Yes, I think I'm having a problem with my camera. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But you can hear me, okay?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. Hi, thanks so much for letting me join for a few minutes. Julie is my across the street neighbor on Sumner Street. My parents lived at 18 Sumner Street for over 25 years. I inherited their house when they passed away 5 years ago. And I really would love to do, Great Barrington was very special to them. And I really would love to do some kind of memorial to them. And I had the idea from being in Giggle Park, where I saw trees and some trees and some plaques in memory of people. And I wanted to see if there was something I could do that would be in a public place that would be in their memory, where just something publicly in Great Barrington, because they love the town so much.
Thank you, Kitty. That's really a wonderful way of honoring your parents. And I think that this is something that the commission has talked a little bit about sort of like what the way of doing this is. I don't want to make any assumptions, Kitty, but it sounds like you're interested in like donating a tree to the town and memorializing it in some way.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm happy to make a donation, to do whatever I can, in that regard. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that.
So thoughts, questions, commissioners? I know Julie mentioned that the tree committee would be happy to help support the choice of the tree and also potentially the location. Any thoughts, or Joe, to you? Nothing.
I'm also on the tree committee.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thanks so much. Memorials? Bill?
So I know down in Lake Mansfield, there are a number of benches that are commemorated to people, that are memorialized to people. And I know that last week we talked, last meeting we talked that one of the things that people are looking for is places to sit in our parks.
Mm-hmm.
So, just that's another option.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty, do you have a preference to a park, or you're gonna go by ours and the tree committee's recommendation?
I'll go by your recommendation. If it's walkable to town, that's great. But I go by, what might be available. And just a simple plaque, nothing fancy, just to have their names and, maybe one line or something. I did speak to, I can't remember the name, somebody about Lake Mansfield originally before Julie and I spoke. And they didn't seem to want to do any more benches there, because that was my original idea. And then I came across the trees in Giggle Park, and that's when I had the second idea. But I'm really happy to just do anything that it works well for you all in the town and on the committee.
Great. Tom, did you have something?
No, I just think the tree committee is looking at this constantly about putting trees around town, so, we could charge them for coming. I mean, I wouldn't wanna decide Giggle Park, for instance, unless someone looked at it, like the tree committee or tree warden, and also because there's concerns with.
Sure.
And it should be vetted by the town, the tree committee and DPW.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if as a commission, we might say that we like this idea pending the approval and the consultation with the tree committee in terms of both type and placement, of course. How does that sound?
Maybe we could get a list of donors. I mean, there may be other people, or have some kind of some place where we can get people together, that are interested in planting trees, and then have them, because I've heard other people make these requests.
I think the tree committee's working on that, so
You know.
I would make a motion that we endorse this donation and ask Joe and Alana to work on finding a suitable place and tree in consultation with the tree committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Kitty, thank you so much. If I think best plan would be, Sarah, is it better to put, if Kitty's in touch with Julie, that's good? Okay, so I will just make sure that Julie knows that we are endorsing this, and you guys can get together and decide what's happening. Yes, please.
Kitty, I just want to say, my name is Leo. My mother worked for your parents and was with them, Rebecca Wagner, and I love this idea. I just want to say that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I love Rebecca. Oh, she's one of my favorite people.
A lot of people do.
That's amazing. And one thing just to add, I don't know who brought it up, but if you all decide a bench is something you prefer, to a tree, I'm really open. I'm really open to whatever works best.
Thank you so much. It's really wonderful. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yes,
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Sarah, thank you so much.
First or second row?
As all the way.
Wherever you're comfortable.
First row, hot seat. I know most of you, but I don't think I know two of you. I'm Sarah Parker. I'm the chair of the Housatonic Improvement Committee. I sat down in front of y'all, was it November? I think it was November, with Eric Gabriel who's my vice chair, to just introduce ourselves and say hi, get on your radar. At that point, we had put together a list of the kind of goals that we wanted to accomplish for 2026 in Housatonic as a whole. And I was asked to come give some frequent updates on that. And so I'm here to give our update, the current state of the union, and just make sure that y'all are engaged in that process, and that I've pulled out specifically the things that I thought related to Parks and Recreation as a whole. But I know that there are other things that you probably have some perspective on, or that you might have heard about that might not be on this list, so I welcome that conversation as well. So I'm just gonna read a bunch. Yep. And then stop me when you need me to stop. We have 6 primary goals. I'm gonna talk about 3 of the goals. The first goal that I'm gonna talk about is really about creating more opportunities for community connection. So the first one is hosting or co-hosting 3 community events throughout the year. That is predominantly me, Betsy Turnbow, Eric Gabriel, and Ben Elliott is gonna help with some of the scheduling. So for February, we're locking in dates for Halloween, Winter Lights, Party in the Park, which is gonna be June 13th, 12 to 4, and application will be coming your way. Earth Day Cleanup, which is Saturday, April 25th. I think it's gonna be 11 to 4, have to confirm that. And then ancillary events, Berkshire Busk is coming to Hoosie, tentatively that Saturday, July 18th from 1 to 5. Those will be hopefully on Depot Street and Main Street, but again, we will figure that out. And then we're planning on having an August long table event as well. Location has not been decided. It could be the Common, it could be a street. We will figure that out, but just so that it's on your radar, we have a lot of stuff going on in Hoosie. And so we're excited to use the various parks and recreation in our village for those things. In tandem in that goal of creating more opportunities for community connection, we're also planning on engaging at least 10 local volunteer partner groups. Ben Elliott is the point person for that one. So this month he will be mapping existing stakeholder groups by category to really help us understand the lay of the land and figure out who we need to engage better. Obviously, in my perspective, Parks and Rec is one of those core partner groups. Then we move on to the next goal, which is advancing local trail and canopy restoration. I believe I talked about this in November, but we have a really strong tree sponsorship program we've been running. We've raised over $3,000, and we're planning on planting 38 trees, pending Joe's approval of our sites, which hopefully we can make happen. There is one just of note adjacent to the Commons that we would like to be approved, and we will have a conversation with Joe about that. But also if that needs to be a broader discussion with Parks and Rec, we will bring that here. In addition, Eric and Amanda Jaraka are developing an actionable plan for connecting the Flag Rock Trail to Village Core by end of year. So by March, they're going to identify access points, rights of way, or easement issues. And then the next goal is advocating for and advancing public outdoor spaces and improvement efforts. I am in charge of one of the action items in that, which is collaborating with Housatonic the Beautiful Fund, and hopefully DPW as well, for at least 3 quick win beautification projects. We had a conversation with Housatonic the Beautiful Fund in January, it's now February. And so we've agreed just between our 2 organizations on the 3 specific items that we would like to accomplish or attempt to tackle, and I will be presenting a plan and timeline to Housatonic the Beautiful Fund on February 10th to try and go after these. But the ones that we've identified are seasonal planters or barrels on Pleasant Street, at the bridge, or near Ramsdell that can be sponsored locally and swapped seasonally to keep maintenance predictable. Water access improvements where feasible, so clearer signage for refill stations, seasonal water distribution, days tied to events or small visual cues, and then temporary or seasonal installations tied to community events like banners, student art, historical photo displays that activate the space without committing to permanent installations. So we're going to continue to develop those ideas, figure out how to make them happen, and be in communication with you. about the ones that specifically impact or relate to, your oversight. And then the final one that, I feel like has some good intersection with the work that y'all are doing is developing an inventory and visual map of potential public improvement sites by September. Ben Elliott is point person for that one, and so by February, he's going to compile an initial list of public improvement sites. And those are my things.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Really, really,
thank you.
really super great. I wonder if anybody has any questions for Sarah. I've asked her to come like every other month to give us regular updates on what's happening. Specifically, of course, anything that has to do with us, but also because this is great work that's happening that we all should know about and be able to make connections for. Questions?
The only thing came up was, the Earth Day cleanup, you said it from 11 to 4, is that?
That was what was in my calendar. I don't.
But is that like for like a gathering afterwards, cause,
I think the gathering is gonna be like ad hoc.
okay.
Yeah,
So the
gathering is
cleanup,
like,
we usually start it, you know, I mean, some of us started early.
then I'm
And it's
gonna
always been like from 9 meet, you know, but that has to get coordinated and also with Joe to help us get.
I am
garbage
speaking
bags
out of
and
turn on
stuff.
this one for sure. I am definitely not the proper
Yeah, no, but
representative
it's
for
just saying the hours of that day,
Yeah,
yeah.
in my calendar, it said 11 to 4, and when I was making my notes, I said, great. That's what it's gonna get said.
It's gonna be that day.
It's gonna be that,
Saturday,
yeah, the 25th.
And of course, we'll get parks usage requests for anything that we need.
Yeah, I just wanna get in front of, like, Eric and I have had the conversation, I know that I need to submit applications, I need to just get more details from him to make sure that that happens.
Great.
I just want to say for the public record, I went to the Housatonic Improvement Committee meeting last week. And
Tuesday, yeah, last Tuesday.
And what's happening in Housatonic is very exciting. It was a potluck and people were really, for a 2.5 hour long meeting, everybody was engaged and very excited, and you're doing a great job, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we had 36 people at our meeting, so come hang out.
That was at the library,
That
right?
was at the library.
Yeah, and I remember, I just want to comment that I went to the earlier one at the library and it was just really nice to see that many people at the Ramsdell being, you know, being used like that as a source for community events and just a general resource, you know, for the village. I think it really helps us improve the sense of identity that we do have, you know, the identity in Housatonic. And one of the things that Julie mentioned last week about that, when she was reading the report that was done, you know, the input from everybody, one of the things that was on that report, that the issue came up quite a bit, that there's a feeling that there's no sense of an actual town park for Great Barrington. No, I mean, that was one of the things, and when I heard that, I immediately thought, but that's Housatonic, it's not Great Barrington. We have that sense, you know, that the old the commons, and I think we're building on that at least for our community, our little village. It's you know, going in the right direction. So,
Sarah, thanks so much for your work and also for coming to share it with us.
That's right. Why would I know?
Yeah. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, sir.
Rabbit Street.
Really, no other updates. It's very cold.
Very cold and very snowy.
Very cold, very snowy. The only thing that I was thinking about is that myself and another RSIP staff member have been just playing with some more ideas about what we can do during the summer. And one of the thoughts is Railroad Street runs an apprenticeship, like the apprenticeship program, and has a bunch of apprenticeships throughout the year. And I think we're going to try to brainstorm to see if there's an apprenticeship that can actually happen in place in the skate park for people to gather.
Great. Thank you. Keep us posted. Thanks for being here. Really great. Joe just walked out. Conveniently. Bill, do you want to say anything about like the task force?
Yeah, just quickly, there was a moonwalk with the Conservancy on
Friday night. I think they had 30 people there. They had a big bonfire, and they did, I mean, even with the cold weather. Then we also had a walk on the lake on Saturday. We had 10 people come out in 7-degree weather, and we had a fire right on the lake, and that was great. So, you know, it's the lake is being used even in the winter, which is very nice. And it's windy. It has been.
I'm so glad people are enjoying the weather.
It's all about layers. It's all about layers.
I'm wearing multiple pairs of
You didn't
pants.
see me there for a reason. Heaven in the summer all time.
I had to go to a funeral.
More fun to be down the side.
Planning board open space and recreation is usually Julie. Anybody have anything to share about that? Okay, we'll, maybe Joe will give us an update when he comes back, but how about citizens? I know Laura is here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Laura Stephen, I live near Lake Barrington. Past somebody carved out a path to get through all the snow. It's really nice along that road. But yeah, I resident Summer Street and very interested in being more engaged in this initiative for parks and recreation. I'm an outdoors person. To, you know, on the trails all the time, you know, constantly utilizing the Flag Rock, for example, in this tonic. That's a great, there used to be a trail that dropped down into town. It's a great idea, but yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself and become more familiar with the activations that you all are working on and see if there's a way to be, you know, more involved.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you do any competitive running?
A little bit.
Laura is a marathon run. She is an ultra marathoner.
Yeah, so the trails are special. They mean a lot to me. So yeah, anything that involves the you know, any of the maintenance and creating of you know, more outdoor trails is
Great. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, for the moment, please come, please, you know, join us. And like I said, one of the things that's on my list is more ways to sort of curate people who do want to be involved and want to volunteer and network to get things done. So anything else for Laura? Okay, anybody else? Yeah, thanks for being here. Anybody else? Citizens?
Question for Joe.
Other commissioners, questions other than for Joe? David, Bill? Terry?
No.
Paul? Do you want to ask it and then?
Well, I can, not community, preservation funds, right? There's an application going forward with, for the Housatonic basketball court. I believe, I just wanted to get maybe brought up to speed a little bit on just what, you know, I mean, we had talked about it, you know, resurfacing and working on the baskets and stuff like that, but I just was curious about what the actual details are, because I guess it's in the works. And then we'll have to be voted at a town meeting.
Yeah, it's gotta be voted at the town meeting, so
Right.
I'm sure it's not in the works yet.
It's not, so it's still getting.
Still gotta be, it's approved by the CPC, but
We
it
didn't-
hasn't been
we made it
approved at
past the
town meeting.
chop.
Yes,
Pardon?
it's gotta be approved at the town
We
meeting.
made it by the chopping block.
Right, but I was just curious what the present, you know, what the actual proposal, you know, I'd like to see it like that, to see this is what it is, so.
I don't recall that being one of the ones that were recommended.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'd like to know the details, so I know what I'm recommending particularly, and, you know, exactly. What the
Joe could talk about it, I
Yeah,
think,
that's why I wanted.
I'm not sure CPC recommended that, I can't
No,
remember
I
at this point.
don't recall that being one of the ones that they were
Forwarded.
going to go forward.
Yeah, I don't have my notes with me, so I
All
can't
right,
recall.
so-
Karen would know, but she's not here.
Well, that's what I just wanted
Yeah.
to be brought up to speed on what's going on with that.
Maybe that will also go on the March.
Yeah, CPC update's a good idea.
Great.
Okay, that would be fine.
Do we want,
Oh, I just had a thought from, Alana, when we first started chatting, I remember we had a conversation about, like maybe finding a place in, Parks and Rec and town government where young people can maybe have some
Yes.
experience in, and I just, like you saying, like trying to engage the other community members in Parks and Rec. I just wanna put that back on the tape.
Thank you. I love that. Will you, like, please, as often as you can, just
Yeah.
keep that. It's been on my mind and I really think that that is a good plan if any young people are interested. Yes,
Oh,
please.
Yeah, there are.
Okay, great. Do y'all want to wait for Joe or you want to end the meeting?
I'm good.
I'm good. We'll wait for him.
Like a youth advisory board.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I can tell you from RSIP's own experience, like, last year we took about 10 people to Youth Mentoring Day in Boston. We went to the Boston State House and everyone there was so excited and so engaged in trying to like understand just politics and the government itself. So and they were all from either, Berkshire Hills, Southern Berkshire, and at the time, Bard/Simon's Rock. So there's a lot of young people who are really interested in being part of government.
Yes, please.
I'll
Feels
invite
important.
them next meeting.
Yes, please. Yeah, you want to invite them next meeting?
Yeah, I'll reach out to them and see if they have the time to come here.
That would be so great. Thank you.
Yeah, big agenda next month.
Well, I'll keep
It's
it
spring.
short. Yeah. You said it, right? You did. Yeah.
Told ya.
Um,
Motion to adjourn.
See out there?
Maybe I'll just poke my head out and see if.
See if he's got anything he really needs to share with us right now.
Thanks, Sarah, so much.
What's that?
Do you have anything you want to share? Because otherwise.
No,
Adjourned.
maybe just one thing, we had a no heat situation at Boozy Dome yesterday, we have a frozen pipe right now that we're trying to locate. The water's off, so it doesn't cause any more damage, but typical barrel of cold water.
Thank you. Thanks for being on top of that.
Because he answered his phone.
Great.
That's all I got.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you so much.